Hello and welcome to the Remembering Akron podcast. I'm your host, Derek Maxfield, and today my guest is Donna Kumpf. Welcome, Donna.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on our show. So let's start with your childhood. You were born in Buffalo, I understand.
Yes. At Children's Hospital.
At Children's Hospital. So you weren't born at home. That was 1941.
Yes.
So that's right at the beginning of World War II.
Oh, yes.
So you don't remember World War II, but I'll bet folks in your family do.
Yes, yes.
Anybody in your family serve?
Not in the service. My dad had polio, so he did not serve.
Oh, I see. All
Yes.
right. Well, now that you've mentioned your parents, why don't you tell me a little bit about them?
Okay, Daddy, like I said, he had polio, but he was a technician for WGR Radio and Channel 2, and Mom was a homemaker, and she raised 5 children. And
Where did your parents originate?
Mom was born in Pennsylvania. Daddy actually come from Clarence. He was born on Ransom Road where the Brothers of Mercy is.
Okay, so he's kind of an old-time Western New Yorker then.
Right.
Tell me about the origins of your last name, of your parents' last name.
Beaky?
Beaky.
Yes. It's German. That's the best I can tell you. My great-great-grandparents, I believe it was, came over and settled in Black Rock.
Great-great-grandparents.
From what I understand. And
all right.
That's not the original spelling. Buechi is not the original spelling.
Okay.
I don't know what the original spelling
Somebody
was.
changed it along the way. All right. So you grew up in Clarence, New York.
Yes.
And graduated from high school there?
Yes.
Do you have any fond memories from high school in Clarence?
Not really, other than we were the first class to go from 6th into 7th grade, and we went from the old Parker Elementary School into the new high school.
Oh, well, that's kind of exciting.
Yes, they took us by way of bus out to the new high school, so we were the first 7th graders.
I see. So you had 4 siblings, I think you said?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Were you the youngest?
No, I was number 2.
Number 2.
I have a sister that's older.
All right, so you had siblings in school with you.
Yes.
I see. All right. So what did you do after high school, Donna?
I was looking for a job, and I went as a local grocery store clerk, and after that I met my husband, and his father had a greenhouse business, and so I just joined into the business, and then when we moved out here, we moved the business with us.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell me about meeting your husband? His name was James?
Better known as Whitey. Everybody
Whitey.
called him Whitey.
All right.
Well, a very close friend of mine took me roller skating, and he just happened to be there, and we met a couple different times on a Friday night, and then she quit bringing me. He started picking me up, and the rest is history.
All right. Well, that's very nice. Doesn't sound like a long romance.
No, it wasn't. Because I graduated in 58.
I see.
And we were married in 60. So.
All right. Nice. So you were married in 1960, and you had 5 children?
4.
4 children.
Yes.
All right. Tell me about them.
Okay. Scott has moved back home. We have a 100-acre farm. And after my husband passed, my son Scott and him were running the farm. And after my husband passed, Scotty moved back home and is now taking care of the farm. Alan lives in Oakfield, and he has 3 children. And Christine lives right across the street from me.
How nice.
And then Tracy lives out in Leroy, and she is a teacher in Rochester.
I see. You mentioned that your husband passed. I'm sorry to hear that. How long ago was that?
It'll be 4 years this year. He passed away on a Thanksgiving Day.
On Thanksgiving Day.
Yes.
Oh, that's too bad. So I understand that you have been quite well acquainted with the Trinity Lutheran Church and a 4-H leader for some time.
Yes.
Can you tell me about your involvement in the Lutheran Church there?
Okay, I was volunteer secretary for 20-plus years.
Wow.
I've taught Sunday school for probably at least that long, maybe closer to 30 years.
Really? What age do you teach?
I taught the younger ones, and I taught preschoolers, then I taught 1st and 2nd, and then I went up to 4th, and now I'm back to preschoolers.
My goodness, what a handful. You must have patience.
Oh, I love children.
I see.
I really do.
All right.
And I've served on the church board.
Okay.
And I'm an assisting minister at the church.
Are you really? Mm-hmm. That's nice. And you've been involved in 4-H for a long time.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me about that?
Okay, well, our son Scott wanted to get into 4-H, and the former leader was giving it up. And he come home and he says, "What are we going to do?" And I says, "Well, we'll find out." And we called the 4-H office up in East Aurora, and they sent us information and sent out this couple to interview us, and the rest is history.
What do you like most about being in 4-H?
The children.
Uh-huh.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I am now assistant manager of the 4-H Cafe, and I go up every day.
Really? Where's that?
In Hamburg.
Oh, I see.
Yes, at the Erie County Fairgrounds.
Oh.
Yes. So I go up, every morning. I leave home at 8, get home at 9 o'clock at night.
Nice.
That's okay.
Well, from your sheet here, it looks like you've got a lot of community involvement. Akron Newstead Food Pantry?
Yes.
So how long have you been involved with that?
Ever since I was secretary at the church, we used to collect food and give it to the Clarence Food Pantry out at the Presbyterian Church. And then we heard that there was a few people in the Akron area, and these 2 women went and talked up to the pastor about starting to distribute food from our church. And we started in 1983, I think it was, that we had 8 families. And, of course, the leadership of that has changed over the past. But we now are serving over 100 people.
Wow.
90-some families. I myself deliver food for Hearts and Hands to 9 families, people that can't get out and do their own shopping and stuff like that. We bag up food and deliver it. And the food pantry continues to exist. It continues to grow. And we have a lot of support from the community. We've received enough money that we could buy a freezer and a refrigerator so that we can offer milk, we can offer breads, meat, and, then we give out special baskets at Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter. At one time, we used to give out Christmas presents to the families, but since our family numbers have grown, so we just can't do that anymore. But we do give them special cookies, and we give them candy, and at Easter time, we give them special treats. At Thanksgiving, they get their turkey and a complete Thanksgiving dinner.
Wow.
Yes.
You've got your hands full. My goodness.
Well, I don't do it alone.
It sounds like you do more than your share. And you're involved in the Newstead Historical Society, huh?
Yes, my husband and I were involved in the Newstead Historical Society, and we were giving guided tours through the Octagon House.
Oh.
Yes, my husband enjoyed doing that, meeting people.
I haven't had a chance to see that yet.
That's quite the place. It really is.
That's what I hear.
Yes, and...
So how long have you been involved with them?
Probably about 12, 14 years.
Okay. That's a good spread of time there.
Yeah.
Do you have a special memory from giving a tour or some kind of surprise?
I think my biggest surprise was when we went up to the very top floor. They have like a solarium up there. And because of the windows, the people that were ill could go up there and sit on the benches. They could read and stuff like that. And because of the sunlight and everything, it was kind of a healing process for them. Mm-hmm. And that was really quite an eye-opener.
Yeah, I'll bet it was.
Yes.
That was something the Victorians were really into at that time. You've been involved with the Akron Library as well?
Yes, I worked the book sales. I helped them, sort books and stuff at the time of the book sale, and I'm just kind of a clerk at the book sale.
I see. Well, I love a good book sale.
Oh, yes.
You've chaperoned Tiger band trips for a while?
That's a high school band.
I see.
From Akron Central School. Our daughters were both in the band, and we had the privilege of making the costumes or the boleros and batons to go down to Disney World. The first time Akron Tigers went to Disney World.
Wow.
My husband made the batons and I made the boleros. So, and then we went down with the kids.
That's nice.
Yes.
What other trips have you been? What other places have you been?
We go to the Grape Festival with the kids. We've gone to the Springville Festival. We've never gone really out of state other than Disney World because of our greenhouse business.
I see.
So we couldn't, take a lot of times and go that, but we did do a lot of local chaperoning.
I see. Well, all of this helps to explain to me why in 1996 you were chosen the Akron Citizen of the Year. Was that a surprise to you?
Very much so. Very much so.
Tell me how you learned about that.
I picked up the local paper.
Oh, nobody gave you a heads up.
My husband knew about it, but he didn't tell me.
I see.
Yes.
All right.
So I picked up the paper, and it said the Citizen of the Year for Akron has been selected, and it's Donna Kumpf. And that meant a nice dinner, and I got to be in the 4th of July parade and stuff like that.
How wonderful.
Yes.
So you woke up one day to find your picture in the paper, huh?
Yes. Not a wanted picture either.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, congratulations. That's
Thank
a
you.
wonderful honor. And more recently, you were chosen as the New York State 4-H Leader of the Year. Mm-hmm. Did you also find about that in the paper?
No.
Oh.
The educator come and she says, Donna, I have to have a picture of you. And so I said, okay, I'm not one for having pictures taken.
I see.
And she said, because she says, you are going to spend a day at the New York State Fair where you will be honored and you get, to go around with your pass and you can have foods and stuff like that.
My goodness.
So my husband didn't feel comfortable driving down, so my son was allowed to get a free pass into the fair. So our son and daughter-in-law went down with us.
Nice. So you got to play Queen for a day.
Yes. That was quite an honor.
I'll bet. A great memory to have.
Yes.
So you owned and operated a greenhouse for 53 years. That is a long time to operate any business.
Mm-hmm. And still doing it.
Wonderful. You must have some wonderful memories that you could share about the greenhouse.
Well, we started out with 12,000 geraniums. And when we moved out here, my husband was looking for a bigger farm. He only had 27 acres in Amherst.
I see.
And so he was looking for a larger farm, and he wanted to do something with the greenhouses. And so we built 4 greenhouses. One was 50 by 30, one was 100 by 30, and the other one was 50 by 25, and the other one was 50 by, there was 2 of them that was 50 by 25. We grew, like I say, 12,000 geraniums, all the little bedding plants, vegetable plants like that. And times have really changed there because people would come and they would buy hundreds of tomato plants, hundreds of pepper plants. And now they'll come and they'll say, is there any way I can get 2? But some of the greenhouses, needless to say, have deteriorated. Oh. And so I've had to discontinue using them, but I still have the smaller 50-foot greenhouse. And it's just enough to keep me busy. And
yeah, I'll bet. You're a busy person. So let me ask you the hardest question of all. So 2 generations from now, one of your grandchildren is talking to their children and remembering you. What would you hope that they say about you?
I would hope that they remember me for my willingness to help others. I think that is what it's all about, helping one another, caring for one another. And I would like to think that my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren will know. And it's ironic because I still have youngsters that were in our 4-H club many years ago that still come and say, hi, Miss Donna, how are you doing? And it, to me, these kids remember me, and I think it's because I tried to teach them, and my willingness to work with them, my happiness working with them.
Well, on that wonderful note, thank you so much for
You're
joining
welcome.
us
Thank
today.
you for selecting me. I just feel quite honored.
We are glad to have had you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening in, and remember to tune in to the next episode of Remembering Akron.